Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to our meeting. We are now in the Ops Committee. I'm Rita Davis Johnson, and I chair the committee. My colleagues on the committee with me are Commissioner Robert Patrick and Commissioner Latina Bolden. And so first, I'd like to go with the minutes. Have you all had an opportunity to review the minutes of June the 17th?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we're gonna skip a little bit on the agenda for today, and would like to bring up what is his name?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Madam Chair. And I would like to announce Mr. William Linkus III, and the CEO is bringing him forward as the nominee for county attorney. Mr. Linkus has an outstanding and somewhat lengthy career in the local area, having served previously as county attorney in DeKalb, Gwinnett, as well as currently in Hall County. So his experience is something that the CEO recognizes as what we need at this time. So we would like to present Mr. Linkus, and he's available for any questions. I know that he has met with a number of you, and those that he has not had an opportunity to meet with, we would love to make that happen between now and the next board meeting. But Mr. Linkus?
Well, good
Thank you.
morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And I want to first give you an opportunity to give any opening remarks that you would like to give. And I think that we do have some questions
Certainly.
from the commissioners.
In terms of opening remarks, I'd just say thank you so much for considering me for this position. Thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me and to interview me. It's been wonderful to talk to those that I have talked to. And I'm looking forward to speaking to everyone. And again, most appreciated the opportunity to have a chance to serve in DeKalb again.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to allow my colleagues to ask the first questions. And Commissioner Bolden. Would you like to take the first question, and then we can go on to you, Commissioner Bolden? I'm sorry, I thought I had given you copies.
All right. If it's all right, I'll go ahead. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
How would you describe your leadership style, and what specific examples of your experiences demonstrate their effectiveness in an environment like DeKalb? What aspects of your leadership are you continuously working to improve?
Well, I guess I would have to describe my leadership style because the main places that I've led have been in law departments. And I've been an attorney essentially all my life, 35 plus years. So I'm often leading lawyers. What I try to do is I'm not a micromanager. I give people the respect of being professionals until they show that they are not worthy of that respect. Mm-hmm. And quite often they step to the plate and do a wonderful job. And I attempt to give them an environment that allows them to do the best job that they possibly can to represent the Board of Commissioners and the CEO in all matters. So I don't want anyone to think that I'm a micromanager. I, again, give folks the ability to thrive and to do a great job, and that's what obviously I expect of them. Areas where I need to work, I think communication is one area that we all need to work on. And one of the primary areas here in DeKalb, obviously, is making sure we could communicate with the elected officials and that we don't neglect in our opportunity to provide all of the information that the elected officials and their offices need to make good choices. So always working in that area.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Bolden.
All right, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
So the question that I am going to ask is with respect to your vision for the legal department. So beyond day-to-day operations, what is your long-term vision for the county attorney's office? And how do you envision its evolution to better serve the needs of a rapidly changing and diverse DeKalb County?
Yes, I've told folks in the interviews, the one-on-one interviews, that in general, my philosophy has 5 prongs. I believe that kind of the basis is skill. We need high skill, both in the law and facts, to be able to produce the highest quality legal work for the county. I want us to be seen as the best, if not way above all the other law departments in the state of Georgia. So providing the skill is the first platform of 5 that I think are important. The second is you can be skilled in all sorts of areas, but it doesn't make any difference if you don't serve. And so service to the elected officials, to the citizens, and to the departments and department directors, we have to deliver those skills to each of y'all. And so service is kind of the second of those prongs. The third is cost. I think we ought to do all of that in a manner that's low cost. We could throw money at things that we don't need to and make all sorts of claims. But the essence of doing a really good job, an excellent job, is to do a skilled job, provide service, and do it with low cost. The other 2 prongs kind of go together, ethics and professionalism. We need to be ethical in everything we do, abide by the bar rules, abide by our consciences, and do what we feel is right for the Board of Commissioners and for the CEO's office and administration. And professionalism is kind of the icing on the cake. We need to be professional also in our dealings with everyone. And that's what I would envision the law department doing going forward. And as we become more diverse, we become larger, we become more metropolitan, those characteristics will hold us strong going in the future.
Okay, thank you. And I'll ask the next question, and I understand, I'm an attorney, and I know we like to talk. But, but please, and not trying to shorten your response, because a lot of them are already incorporated in things that you've already said. But, we got not a robust agenda, but we have a long agenda to get through. So my question is, describe your approach to mentoring and developing legal talent within your office. How would you ensure your team is equipped to handle the unique legal challenges presented within the county?
Very good question. Legal team needs to have those high skills that I mentioned before. Starts with CLE educational values. We have a City and County Attorney Institute every year. I've spoken at it many times, delivered various topics. And so that's kind of the basis. Then there are additional CLEs that attorneys can take. I'm very much in favor of education, making sure that we have all the information we have to be on the cutting edge in our representation of you. That also goes along with personal mentoring. And I'm very familiar with that because I hired 2 attorneys in Hall County to be within our law department, and neither one of them had any local government experience. So I've been mentoring and mentoring and mentoring, and it's one-on-one personal also. And they've turned out to be really great attorneys. And I think the law department in Hall is going to be really good as a result.
Okay. Well, thank you. Number 4.
All right, we're switching 4 and 5. So between the executive and legislative branch, as you know, DeKalb is unique in that out of the 159 counties, we are the only county that has the CEO opposed to having a county manager. And so how would you balance the legal advice that you're providing to the executive branch versus the legislative branch, and what will you do if there's a situation where there are considerations that seem to be in conflict? And then lastly, And ultimately, there's been some debate and some even precedent as to who, at the end of the day, the county attorney serves if there is some type of a conflict between the legislative and executive branch. And so ultimately, can you identify who you would see that the ultimate client would be?
Well, I'll start with the end of the question first.
Yeah.
To me, the ultimate client is DeKalb County, and as represented evenly by the CEO and the Board of Commissioners. So the CEO has her functions under the Organizational Act, and y'all have y'all's functions. Together, y'all represent DeKalb County, and that is truly my client. In terms of competing interests, I believe that the advice given to everyone should be exactly the same. We shouldn't be giving advice to one as opposed to another that's different. Always we need to be harmonizing because that's what our essential legal opinion is. And so you won't find my office, if I'm in charge, giving different legal opinions to different folks. It needs to be upfront, honest, and fully productive for everyone. If there's a conflict of interest, that's possible. There's a couple of different ways to handle that. If it's a conflict of interest that requires outside counsel for both sides, that is certainly a possibility. You want to make sure you identify the conflict of interest first. But once you have one, you can get outside counsel for both sides. Sometimes the sides will agree to get an outside legal opinion, and that's another way. Perhaps go to the Attorney General or someone similar for an opinion. So whenever that happens, absolutely we should take the measures necessary.
I appreciate that as the other attorney on the board.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Lone Spears. number
Thank you,
6.
Commissioner Davis Johnson. Apologies, I was speaking to Mr. Manson. Do you want me to ask question number 4 or 6? 6, okay. Hello, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
In a highly political environment, how would you maintain your independence as a county attorney while still being responsive to the needs of elected officials? What internal compass guides your decisions when political pressure is high?
Well, I mean, my political compass is that I represent DeKalb County, and I understand folks may want things one way or another, but we have to be above board. We have to provide all of the information to everyone. We have to give the same legal opinions to everyone. We have to work just as hard for everyone and treat everyone the same. So I've been basically in a political environment for much of my career, and I do know that things can be difficult, but it's nothing about our office is personal. We may like everyone, wonderfully, but we may have to go a certain direction, and sometimes we have to give hard news. We will give that hard news, but we'll also try to give creative solutions where necessary, within the bounds of law, ethics, and professionalism. So we will try to be creative as best as possible to get to the ends that the elected officials want to get to. That said, we understand it's a tough position.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, Commissioner Terry, would you like to do 7?
Yes, I'll be happy to. Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, all right, next question here. This is about diversity. So DeKalb County is inherently diverse, economically, culturally, ethnically, and socio-demographically. How does this diversity inform your approach to providing legal counsel and shaping the legal strategy for the county?
Well, diversity is generally a really good thing. Diversity of different types of people from all walks of life, sometimes from different countries, speak different languages, etc. As county attorney, I have to be able to work with all of those folks and to look at them exactly the same. In my view, a good attorney can come from any place that a good attorney can come from. And if they flourish and they do good work, they're wonderful. What that creates is a mosaic of good people. It can be good people from anywhere, any type of folks, from the north part of the county, the south part of the county, east, west, or outside the county. And I think that my approach, which is to look at everyone as a person, as an individual, with their own needs and concerns, and with their own skills, that makes everybody feel included despite the diversity. And so that's what I aim for. I aim for a team with diverse interests, diverse abilities, diverse skills, but we all work together as a team.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Number 8,
Okay.
Commissioner Patrick.
Thank you, Madam Chair. DeKalb often faces complex social issues that may have legal dimensions, homelessness, mental health crises, police-community relations. How would you prepare your office to effectively address those evolving challenges from a legal perspective?
That's another good question. First thing I would say is that what we try to do is identify what those concerns are, as seen through y'all's eyes and through the eyes of the CEO. What concerns need to be addressed, and if we can anticipate them ahead of time and start thinking about them, that will lead us towards, ultimately what the legal part of it is potential solutions, to give y'all options to remedy whatever problems that are y'all's concerns. So when you hear from constituents that there's a problem, we want to ultimately get you to a solution. It may be a creative solution, it may be a solution that is obvious to everyone. But the law department is not here to run the county or to tell any of the elected officials what to do. We're there to get you someplace that you want to go. And so that's the way I look at it. If we can identify those things ahead of time, we can already be thinking proactively in that direction.
Right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Commissioner Bolton, number 9.
So the next question is about challenging decisions that you've had to make. And the question is, reflect on the most challenging legal or ethical dilemma you faced as a county attorney. What made it so difficult, and what was your decision-making process, and what did you learn from the experience?
That's an interesting question. And I will think back to a decision that I made in another jurisdiction that will remain unnamed, but I had a huge amount of political pressure to do a particular thing. And when you have a decision like that, you have to also decide if it goes the wrong way, what are the implications of it going the wrong way? We lawyers, we're always thinking of what's the worst that could happen, and then trying to stop that from happening. So this particular decision that I'm thinking of was one that if it went the wrong way would be absolutely catastrophic. So as a result, despite the political pressure, I stood firm with what the law said, and it worked out in the end, but it was a very bumpy road. And so what you have to do is you have to figure out what the law says and stick with it, and not be influenced by the politics. It was hard, but I'm glad I did it. And ultimately, your career is better in the long run when you stick to your principles.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much. I think the other 2 questions have already overlapped. Okay. Yeah, I think that the last 2 questions you've already answered. But I want to give the commissioners the opportunity to ask one last question if they have.
I have 2, but I'll be brief. 2 questions. Thank you so much. The first one is, do you consider the county attorney to be the best role to serve as the parliamentarian?
Well, I think so. I'm gonna have to say yes, unless there was a separate parliamentarian that was hired by the county. But I understand here in the county, that's the county attorney's office. And that was the role that I had when I was here before. So aside of a professional parliamentarian who's been trained, I think probably the county attorney is the best person.
So if you notice that we accidentally violate one of our rules or Robert's rules, would you stand up and say, stop, wait, that's a violation of our Blue Book or Robert's rules?
Yes, I would if the violation was something that was a major violation that would cause detrimental effect.
Okay.
If it was just something that was
Minor.
exactly, or that didn't affect anything, then I'm not going to interrupt y'all's meeting for that.
Understood.
But if it's something that caused a major detriment, then yes, I would.
My second question is, earlier in the year, I co-sponsored, along with Commissioner Messiah, an agenda item to hire outside counsel to serve us on the Board of Commissioners, to advise us, to help with research, developing ordinances, things of that nature. At that point in time, the CEO, as well as our acting interim county attorney, Mr. Welch, agreed, in lieu of us hiring an attorney, is that the county attorney's office will dedicate an attorney to the Board of Commissioners full-time to assist us. Will you uphold that agreement?
I have no problems with that agreement. Absolutely, I will uphold that agreement. Absolutely.
And depending on, I guess if you get the votes from this board, how long, if you, of course, become our county attorney, how long would it take, do you think, to be able to appoint someone? Would you want 2 weeks, a month, a day, immediately? I'd be okay with that. But
Well, what I'd want to do is make sure I got the right person
Okay.
for y'all. So once I identified the right person, 2 weeks,
Okay.
30 days at the most.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, and I would say an attorney's answer should be a reasonable time.
Yes.
Okay, but thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you offering yourself
It's been a
to
pleasure.
us.
Thank you.
Okay, she has one quick.
Wait, just to piggyback really quickly, all right, because I appreciate,
Okay, okay.
already
Go on with the
identifying. So my question is, as it relates to, just piggybacking what Madam Pio had shared, whether or not you would think it would be advantageous for the Board of Commissioners, again, to have their own attorney, and how you sort of see that working in, so not necessarily a dedicated attorney that is just working in the office, but this attorney is working on the matters and issues and concerns of the BOC itself.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would envision, is someone who would be under my supervision, but who would be dedicated to working on the Board of Commissioners issues, who would be able to be a contact point for the Board of Commissioners on their issues, and who we could all go to say, what's going on with this? What information have you found out? What information can we provide? How long is it going to take to get this done?
Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Back to you, Madam Chair.
okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Madam, just one quick question. Hey, Bill,
Once,
before you go,
are you that familiar, Bill?
Mr. Lindquist, I apologize. Mr. Lindquist.
Okay.
Other attorneys that are here at the county, I think it's fair to say that there is enough of a relationship between the commissioners and those individuals. If we have a question and we call you, understanding you may be in a meeting, but you will give us a call back and walk through whatever concerns we have.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Did it include this, the suggestions you guys have? Okay, so it's already in there.
Thank you, William.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
All right, so I just want to make sure that it included what, central staff suggested, the suggestions you guys have
okay,
made.
so the next item that we will have would be a very brief state legislative agenda review. Dan, if you could give us a very brief agenda review, and we will bring you back. We just have some pressing things that we need to address. I'm sorry. You live in Decatur, so it's just a walk across the street.
Yeah, sure, anytime. Happy birthday, Madam Chair. Yeah, so like you said, this really what was provided to you was I could call a cut-down version, although it's still 13 pages, of about the 18-page summary I gave you in late April toward the end of the legislative session. But I was asked to come and maybe give you some highlights, so I will just highlight a couple of key bills, the items from the legislative agenda that passed, and also talk about some study committees that are out there over the summer session that you may be interested in. And then
that was introduced by the commissioners that
okay,
that
do you want to
passed.
hear ones that were introduced but not passed, or just the ones that were passed?
The ones that were passed, and then you can come back and give us a broader.
Okay.
And we'll do that at the next ops meeting. We just don't have the time today.
Sure. So what I'll do then is I will skip over House Bill 92 and House Bill 399 because they weren't part of the legislative agenda, unless you want me to speak about them. They were ones that were important to you all. Okay, so I see a nod of a head.
Yeah,
so
well,
I'll just touch on.
Yeah, you're coming back. If you could give us the commissioners' legislation that have been passed, and also just give us a brief update on the judges' status that we just passed.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that if
So,
we could deal with that.
you know, I'll just mention quickly that the bill that was of utmost importance to the county was House Bill 92 that restored the exemptions for the MARTA sales tax back so that the county can continue to do, if it chooses, a SPLOST and e-host. So that bill was passed and signed by the governor. So that was House Bill 92. Moving on to stuff from the legislative agenda.
Dan, can I ask one quick question? Does that also allow for a future transit tax, or is it now just capped no matter what type of sales tax it is?
I mean, that doesn't change any of that.
It doesn't change that
For
DeKalb
as
as a MARTA county.
a MARTA county, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's other options that could be looked at. If you want me to give you a more comprehensive review of everything that's out there that the county could do, because, you know, there is the set, so everything you have in place right now, put your ceiling, but there's other options depending on which ways you want to go. So I could do something that kind of gets into all of that for you all. Okay. House Bill 513 was a bill that was in your legislative agenda, and that bill was originally about the service delivery strategy, but we added an amendment, and what that amendment did was restore the ability for the video surveillance cameras at gas stations. So it put back into place the ordinance that you all had passed. So that got done, got signed by the governor. So that was an item in your legislative agenda. Now, there's other items that are in your legislative agenda that were items that were more ACCG items. Those were all part of what your agenda was, but they weren't come from a particular commissioner. So I'll skip over those if you'd like, rather than go over those. Although I will mention one of them, House Bill 155, that deals with annexation arbitration process revisions, just because annexation was such a focus of things in your legislative agenda. And this will hopefully help the Georgia Department of Community Affairs in appointing panels. A lot of times they just can't find the people to do it when there's an objection to an annexation, and this allows county and city managers to sit on it, and also increases the amount of the per diem that they would get for doing it to try to help form those, because a lot of times there's an objection and they can't get the people to serve, and then the objection would just basically go away. Another item from your legislative agenda was House Bill 179. Talks about digital recording of court reporting. So it allows for the digital recording of certain court proceedings as an alternative to a traditional court reporting, and that was something in your agenda as well. That passed, yes. Yes, I'm only telling you bills that passed right now. House Bill 331 passed, and this makes it unlawful for anyone to transfer ownership of an animal at any roadside, public right-of-way, parkway, median, sidewalk, park, fair, recreation area, fair, flea market, public or commercial parking lot, which is something that has been on your legislative agenda a couple times. That got passed and signed this year.
I mean, was that presiding officers?
Yes, that was the presiding officer.
Working behind the scenes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that. I'm very proud.
Another item that was passed, and it was an amendment tagged on to a bill. The bill originally allowed just for county libraries to conduct meetings via teleconference, and we had in the legislative agenda for community service boards to be able to do that. So that was amended onto the bill, so that bill passed and signed. I know Commissioner Patrick would like that to be for the Board of Commissioners as well. That has met some opposition still. So baby steps.
If I may, Madam Presiding Officer, or just following up with that, so if we had of our citizen boards, if they had the ability also to meet via Zoom as opposed to in person, I think that would be a good point to talk with, and I'll get with central staff about that, but just want to put that on people's radar that we have a lot of working professionals in the county, and if we could have our citizen boards as flexible as possible, yet still meeting that expectation of public review, public engagement, I think that would be a worthy goal. Thank you.
Okay. And the last item that came from you all as opposed to the endorsement of ACCG's legislative priorities, which there were a number of those that are good for the county too that passed, was Senate Bill 20, which would provide for student loan repayment for veterinarians who practice shelter medicine and veterinarians who practice in nonprofit pet sterilization clinics. So those are the ones from the legislative agenda that were not ACCG items that were in your legislative agenda that passed. And then there are several study committees that I'm watching over the interim that deal with issues you've been interested in. House Resolution, and this starts on page 7, House Resolution 847 is a House Study Committee on evaluating funding for public health. House Resolution 885 is a House Study Commission on election procedures. And there's a lot of items from your agenda that deal with election issues. And there are a lot of bills out there introduced that deal with that. So there's going to be a robust discussion around the state. They've scheduled a lot of meetings to kind of look at how there might change election law in Georgia. So that is a place that ideas can be shared. I think their first meeting is in the middle of July. There is also it's not a study committee, but I wanted to mention it because I know this was an item in your legislative agenda about concerns about data centers. And I know something that was brought up actually, and I think your meeting this morning, is there is a House Special Committee on Resource Management, and they're kind of going around talking about how it affects water supply and all of that, how data centers and other stuff. So that's part of the discussion they're having in that committee. And then there's a Senate Resolution 424, which created a study committee on franchise fees. There have been no study committees in the past.
That may be something that you can come to our committee to talk about.
Okay, so that's really
yeah.
all I had. Did you say you wanted me to mention something
On the judges,
So on the judges,
Superior Court judges.
Superior Court judges, I mean, there was House Bill 85, which passed the General Assembly and was signed by the governor. So that, didn't specifically deal with DeKalb County, but as you all know, from the resolution you all passed, that it put into place decisions that needed to be made by local governments about how they wanted to proceed. Now, there was a local bill that the DeKalb County Senate delegation passed that the House delegation did not, that also considered putting in legislation that dealt with salaries for Superior Court judges, the state court judges, and we were mostly trying to make sure it didn't have any negative impacts on the county as far as the CEO's office and the Board of Commissioners. They couldn't come to an agreement on a final bill on that. It's still pending over there. I think we'll have to get with the county attorney's office and you all and the CEO to see if there's any technical changes or any local legislation that needs to make sure that nothing negatively impacts you all going forward.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Dan. We appreciate that. And John, can you put him on our next agenda for him to continue giving us the updates?
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you. So now I think we're going into previously heard items, and it's 250538, all commission districts, amending previously adopted agenda item 240797 with a new resolution to create SPLOSH 2 Resident Review Committee to replace the Citizens Oversight Committee for SPLOSH 2. And who's speaking on that? Miss, yeah, I was, Mr. COO.
Yes, Commissioners. There was a brief history on this item. We've had this item in committee for a couple of months now.
Right.
The most recent version was created within the committee, last committee meeting, 6/17, and there was a red line available. The printer is broke, so I'm going to get you all a copy as soon as possible. But I did email it to everybody just a second ago, so it should be in the top of your inbox. And we are awaiting you all's direction on how to move forward.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. I was able to get a printed copy, so thank you.
How did you get?
I asked for an email, and I think it might have broke when I asked for it. Sorry. Okay, but my suggestion is at the bottom of page 1, number 2, please. And so it lists out 3 different purposes of the SPLOSH 2 Residents Committee. I would like for you guys to please consider a 4th purpose for that committee. And that purpose, I wrote it out to kind of be in alignment with how we have it written here, is how projects comply with the proposed timelines and goals outlined initially for that specific project. So I'll give an example. The animal shelter renovation was a category in itself for SPLOST. I believe it was $7.5 million. Is that correct?
7.5.
7.5, yes, okay, I had it right. $7.5 million specifically for the animal shelter renovation. One of the things that's happened, and I'm happy it has happened, I just think this is something that would help if our oversight committee could help us keep an eye on it, is that when we have been dealing with this overpopulation crisis for quite some time now, and we boldly, as a governing authority, decided to establish DeKalb's and maybe Georgia's very first pet neighborhood. So we're nearing the end of the process of building out these overflow shelters, and they are really, really wonderful. I encourage everyone to go out there and look at them. But my point is here is that the SPLOSH 2, I should have got into effect on April 1st of 2024. And it would be helpful to me to know when that was initially planned to be complete, because we have run, as you know, Mr. Williams, significantly over our timeline there. Second is that with that $7.5 million that was specifically supposed to be for the renovation of the shelter, those funds have been diverted over to paying the gap in funding for the overflow units. So when we first discussed how much it would cost to build out this pet neighborhood, all the overflow units to house 120 dogs, they didn't, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that we didn't take into account some of the infrastructure that was needed there, so water, concrete, electricity. ended up being a couple $1 million that was taken out of that 7.5 million. So I'm not exactly sure how much is left for the renovation of the animal shelter, but it's not 7.5. So if we could add that as a third at least for the,
You said the four.
excuse me, the fourth purpose of the SPLOST 2 committee, to just be advised on the project, the goal of the project, and the timeline of the project. Because we all have appointees, and if they determine, hey, we're running behind, they can at least come to us and advise us. Thank you for that consideration.
Thank you. And I have no objection to it. I think it's reasonable to put it in because we need to be informed. Okay.
So I just want to reiterate that when Commissioner Terry and I met with the community, and I shared it with Zach as well, they gave us an example of reporting that they would like to see that included all of the things that you said, so that it would make it easier for them to follow. And if there were any delays, that would be something, a part of the simple template that they came up with. So I can reshare that if you need to
Please
see
do.
it, but it was a part of the requested template.
I'm delighted to hear that. Y'all are a step ahead. That's fantastic.
Okay. Did you have something to say?
I did. It was I guess the simple question coming back to, does this document still align with what legal says works with the expectations of the referendum? That's really always been my question on this. And I know we're working on putting everything together, but
Yeah.
that's
And I
ultimately
think
my
that
pinch point.
you wanted to add, I think you were just adding that fourth provision. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair. So it's
Okay.
under the now therefore it be resolved. It's point number
Right.
2, and it just simply outlines the purpose of the SPLOST 2
Right. I got you.
Residents Committee.
Okay.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. I stepped up to address Commissioner Patrick's comment/question about this aligning with the referendum for SPLOST 2.
Right.
The alignment with the referendum is going to be contingent on how you move forward spending the money, with your approval and the governing authorities' action being the key. As this is written, you are able to do that. The fundamental concern was all found in paragraph 6. That paragraph has been rewritten. It was rewritten on the fly in the last committee meeting, if you recall. It is now highlighted. The key difference is this says it may happen, and more importantly, this assessment or analysis by this body does not have to happen to allow you to approve spending SPLOST money. That would have been a problem.
Okay.
It was a condition precedent as initially written, and it's no longer a condition
Okay,
precedent. I
so
will
the-
point out for your benefit, though, this still needs review, because if you look at paragraph 7, you say that on July 1, 2025, the first meeting will be held by that date. It's really not possible at this
No,
point.
sir.
That's a very easy fix, but once you decide on a final
Yeah.
document, you can insert a new date that you think is reasonable.
Okay, so the addition that Commissioner Long Spears made would not be a problem.
I don't think so. I'm going to repeat what I heard, Commissioner, to make sure I captured it properly,
Sure.
because my comments contingent on my understanding. How projects align with goals and timelines with overall projects. And you used as an example that I won't write in, spending some money on a project associated with the animal shelter.
Yes, sir. I'll just repeat. You were close. Again, you wordsmith it. You're a lawyer, whatever you think is best. How projects comply with the proposed timelines and goals outlined initially for that specific project. And the example I used, because it was an easy one, was the category of the animal shelter renovation.
Right.
I have another technical
And that
question.
was just one. Okay.
Thank you. Just a real technical question. It might be in here, I'm just not seeing it. I understand that each commissioner gets one appointment and our CEO gets 2 appointments. Is it written in here that it's an appointment that has to be from our district? I mean, I assume most of us probably would appoint someone from our district, but is it specifically stated that it has to be from our district, or can I appoint someone from your district? I won't.
I
Of course, it'll be my
wouldn't want you to.
district. Exactly. I just wonder if it needs to be in there.
Oh,
Because you probably
yeah.
wouldn't want someone to do that.
Right.
Okay. Would you might consider that friendly amendment?
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
Does anyone have a problem with that?
And I trust Commissioner Long Spears that would go in paragraph 4 with the criteria for appointments.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
But I could have 2 in my district if you appointed one and I appointed. No, I'm kidding.
I just like clarity, as you know.
Yeah, I think it's
Thank you.
fine. So with those 2 additions and with us changing the date, like maybe 30 days from the date that's in there now, is that August 1?
Madam Chair, so I'm just thinking about the timeline of this. Has anyone appointed a member yet to the SPLOST 2 committee? I believe, Commissioner, have you already done it? Okay, that's what I remembered. I thought I recalled it being in the read into the record portion of our business meeting agenda. Do you think that we could get that done by August 1st?
Do you want to say September 1st? Yeah, September 1st.
I think that makes sense, to be
Okay.
honest.
Yeah, so I think September.
I mean, I'd like to do it soon. I'm not trying to, this is more technical in
good.
nature, but whatever y'all think is fine. I just think we need to be reasonable and realistic.
When
May
is
I
Labor Day?
offer some assistance?
Me-
If I may, Madam, the term "by" gives this body a deadline for their first meeting. Pushing it out does not mean they could not meet earlier if the committee was established. With respect to the proposed appointment, and to my knowledge, there's only been one from Commissioner Terry, please review it because the criteria has now changed. And whoever you nominated must come from your district. That is what is on the table as of this discussion. And that will mean there will be 2 districts with 2 representatives and only 2 districts. The super district commissioners will choose someone from within the super district. They will also obviously be in one of the other 5 districts. The other 3 districts will only have 1.
Yeah, so, I think that we do need a time limit because time is moving forward and we have not moved. And I think he has his on hold, he said. And, I have someone in mind, but, and I'm sure that by September the 1st, we all should be able to identify someone to serve. So with that, do we have a motion?
May I offer one other comment?
Oh, well, we have one other.
I'll wait to hear the question.
Yes, so, because I want to make sure I make it clear, because evidently I had a citizen that reached out saying that they weren't aware, or a comment had been made that I made no suggested changes or additions to this particular resolution. Commissioner Terry took that opportunity to follow up and saying that he didn't recall me making any suggestions. However, what I did suggest was based on the review and analysis that central staff had provided to us ahead of that particular meeting that was dated on the 1st. Glad to see that one, particularly with number 4, is inclusive, and that was one of the points that Commissioner Long Spears had made that we actually incorporate. But however, there are some additional that I would like to just bring to your attention and suggest as a friendly amendment to the extent that this committee would consider that. One, that on the second page, number 7, it says about halfway through that the rules of procedure shall be based on the latest edition of Robert Rules of Order. My suggestion would be that it would be based on the our standing rules of procedure and the Robert Rules of Order. As we saw last Tuesday, and I believe that interim county attorney Welch had shared that our standing procedure rules actually trump where there's maybe a conflict with Robert's rules. So to acknowledge to some degree our standing rules of procedure and also, Robert rules, particularly if our rules are silent as it relates to those particular areas, as a suggestion.
Okay.
I'd just like to offer Commissioner Messiah the standing procedural rules we often refer to as your Blue Book rules only apply to this body, no other body. And if you're suggesting that it would then apply to the body you're creating in this resolution, one example that I would caution you about is the notion of a normal course.
Okay.
What would that mean for them? They operate on a different schedule. They would be meeting quarterly or some other schedule should they choose to meet more frequently than quarterly. They do not have your committee of the whole
Right.
and then regular action meetings, et cetera. So that application would be rather difficult for them.
Well, we're applicable, right? And there are particular ones that we could pull out because, again, my only concern is where there may be a conflict with the Robert rules that, just based on how we're supposed to handle things, that the standing rules or the Blue Book rules supersede. So obviously, I'm only talking about rules that are applicable because there are certain rules in Robert rules itself that aren't going to be applicable to this SPLOST 2 oversight body.
And as I understand it, the Blue Book only refers to the commissioners.
That was my point.
Okay, it only referred to the commissioners, because if we start putting it to every committee, then it wouldn't be applicable.
Right, not every committee, but, all right, fair enough. The other consideration, just because we just had that issue, just wanted to keep it in the forefront, just in case there were some considerations that we need to be made there. The other was, and this was also one of the staff's recommendation, it was number 5, as the current proposed composition, that it actually, let's see, no, I'm sorry, it was number 1. Include the SPLOST 2 and any future SPLOST group in the projection selection process. So just that this isn't necessarily, and I know we had a conversation related to SPLOST 2 and it's just different in terms of how it moves forward, but where there could be a contemplation related to future SPLOST, that there be a similar framework. And I'm not certain if there was any follow-up related to that point. Again, similar to some of our, when it came to the affordable water, certain other resolutions we write just based on what we're dealing with now and any future. So would it be prudent in this particular situation to contemplate not just the SPLOST 2, but have it reference any future? Would there be any consideration to make sense to do that, or what are your thoughts there?
I understood in the initial discussion about SPLOST 1 considerations, and now you're offering future SPLOST, which we would likely refer to as SPLOST 3, somewhere in the neighborhood of 2030 or so, calendar-wise. Those elements are going to be included in the normal reporting of SPLOST funding, the status of projects that are funded by SPLOST funds, and the like. But with respect to the body that is created by this legislation, it would only deal with SPLOST 2. But your reporting that you receive would include everything. And to the extent there's overlap, the information that is reported at this time, for example, from SPLOST 1, would be available to that body if it were to impact any of their considerations. Easy example for you, Commissioner, where there's overlap and SPLOST 1 has funded an initial phase of a project, and now SPLOST 2 is financing the second phase. That information would be available to them, but their comments and analysis should be reserved to the portion funded by SPLOST 2.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Phillips. If there's no further discussion.
May I ask one more technical question? I
Okay.
apologize. So on number 7, and we're on page 3, it says meetings shall be in person. Do you feel that there's a need to list virtual as an option for inclement weather, or if?
Just in general.
Yeah, would you mind it's just a small,
Yeah,
small
I
minor
think it should
change?
be included.
Mr. Manson, do you mind
Virtual.
including that?
Can we do that? Can we just add that? So
I
it
made a
seems,
note, and I'm gonna take the liberty that Commissioner Long Spears invited me to take on wordsmithing where
Okay.
appropriate, and I'll work with central staff to get another draft to all of the commissioners and our CEO so that everybody can see what's coming.
okay. So with those 3 recommendations.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Can we take a vote on that? And hopefully we'll have the updated resolution prior to next week for us to vote on.
Well, I'd like to remind you, you won't be meeting next week
Right,
because of the
right.
holiday.
Right, the next meeting.
We'll work to get you one in advance so you have a chance to.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I just want to ask one question myself also.
Okay.
Mr. Phillips?
Please.
My steps today.
Yes, we're here to help. Does this need any further legal analysis to make sure we're good with the referendum, or is what's been put here good to go? And we are not going to have any kind of, we're not laying any bear traps out in the future where something happens and then the Board of Commissioners and this board get sort of cross-haired with one another.
Well, to be fair, I do think it's important to remember what I spoke to initially on this item. I need to review a final document before I can formally opine.
Okay.
And I'm hesitant to do that. We may be okay, I think we are, but until I see a final document, I couldn't possibly
Well,
opine.
we've had the final document presented to us. We just added the 3 amendments on
Understood.
from today. And we asked on each one of those, would that be acceptable?
I will work to give you
And so-
language that is
Okay.
language I could approve as the
Okay.
form.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you so much. Okay, now with that, do we have a motion?
Motion to consider what Ted's thinking right now. No, I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. I'll make a motion to advance this to the Board of Commissioners
Yes.
at our next BOC meeting, July 8.
Do you make a motion to approve with those additions?
With those additions, yes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Thank you, and thank you for
Of
your
course, good job,
work.
committee. Thank you.
Okay, so, the next one is, 0782, low bid. Let me get that fast. It's purchase of tires, including recapping. Let me see, do I have? I know you gave me
Came back.
a sticky.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
back?
Yes, ma'am, it came back from audit
Okay.
today,
And
about
it was.
118.
Oh, I found it, okay.
They supported it.
Okay, so let's see, low bid purchase of tires including recapping and repairs, option to renew for use by Public Works Fleet Management consists of purchase of new tires and tubes, tire recapping, as well as tire repair services over 3,600 fleet vehicles and equipment. This request seeks to reserve the right to transfer funds between contracts based on the need of the county, recommended to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, Action Tires, Atlanta Commercial, Drive Tires, JNR Tire, Necktie Commercial, Southern Tire, Mark LLC, amount not to exceed $4,900,000.
Yes, Madam Chair, this is our tire contract. This will be the tires we purchase for everything from lawnmower tires to off-roads to heavy trucks, police cars, everything. And it's also our recapping contract as well.
Yeah, okay.
And so it's just a contract. We did bid it out again, and just a new contract.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Are there any questions, comments on it? If not, is there a motion?
Had this gone to audit? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yes, it's come back from audit
It just came back.
and it's supported.
Okay. Motion to approve item 0782.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Excuse me, the next item. You want to read the next item?
Oh, sure. This is under new agendas, items, Airport 2025-0909. This is for Commission Districts 1 and Super 6. Low bid invitation number 1669, runway 3R21L, keel replacement at the DeKalb Peachtree Airport for use by the DeKalb Peachtree Airport. Consists of the replacement of 50 years plus old concrete panels inside the keel, center 50 feet of runway 3R21L, and the selected panels outside the keel, such as taxiway Alpha between runway 21L and connecting taxiway Juliet. Recommend award to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, C.W. Matthews Contracting Company Incorporated, amount not to exceed $11,436,043.12. Director.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, so we are recommending, or we would like to request recommendation of award to C.W. Matthews for this project, replacing just old concrete on our primary runway at the airport.
Now, isn't this something we'd already talked about previously, or how is
We
this
have,
different?
that was for the allocation of funding. We've discussed it during that portion of the project.
Okay. And since this is over the $3 million?
It has already come back from,
Yes, you
it
should
has
have
already
received
come
that
back from
this
audit and is supported. And with that, I'm going to, since you chaired that one, I'm going to make a motion for approval.
Second.
All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
There we go.
Thank you.
Okay. I will take the next one is Chief Executive Officers, 250910, all commission districts, proposed confirmation of William L. Linkus, the third as the county attorney for DeKalb County. Okay, is there anything you'd like to say, Mr. CEO, or do we've already had the,
Well, yes, thank you for the opportunity just to come one more time and endorse the candidacy. The CEO has had an opportunity to meet with Bill. He comes with a stellar reputation. Many of you have had the opportunity to meet with him individually. And so we would love your support so we can move forward and get him on board. There's lots of work to do, right?
okay. Okay, thank you. Is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve Bill.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay.
The mic
Next
wasn't on.
item is,
The mic wasn't on.
the next item is 0250910. Okay, we just approved that one. The next item is 250603. Change order, all commission districts, the contract numbers, you can read the contract numbers. Commercial janitorial services, multi-year contract for use by the Department of Facility Management, Recreation Parks, Cultural Affairs. These contracts consist of development, management, and monitoring of high-quality commercial janitorial cleaning, custodial services, and day porters. This request seeks to increase the contract term and funds through December 31st, 2025, awarded to Building Maintenance Services, Clean Star National, and A-Action Janitorial, total amount not to exceed $2,472,708.12.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair.
Good afternoon.
This action is to, we're trying to increase the contract terms so we can put the contract out for an RFP. We're reducing the scope of work and trying to reduce custodial costs.
Without affecting the services.
Yes, ma'am. We're gonna provide, and we made some changes June the 1st to reduce our cost. We have went back because we made some changes in most of the buildings, and we've had to go back and make some adjustments depending on the cleaning service. We just want to make sure we provide the best services possible.
Okay, I remember several years ago when we had a janitorial service.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the courthouse was just, You remember that? Yeah, the courthouse
Yeah,
was
we're-
just, and so we got past that.
Yeah,
And
and we
so-
did that in 2019. We stepped up and increased enhanced cleaning. And then we had the COVID event that, caused us to do more cleaning, more wipe downs and sanitation of the buildings. And, the people still expect that because there's still a lot of COVID variants out there. And we're having to adjust to make sure that we can provide the best possible service for the money we have to use.
I just don't want to go back.
I
to
understand.
that.
And that's our plan, is we're gonna do the best possible thing we can to provide the best services with the money that we get.
Okay, thank you. Did you have something? Okay, do you have anything?
No, ma'am.
Commissioner? Okay, Commissioner Terry.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to confirm, for the new RFP, are we still trying to keep the same minimum wage as the existing contract? I think was it $15 an hour? Is that what the current contract says?
I think we were somewhere around there, $15 to $17. I think
15 to
it was
17?
what the
Okay, so the
DeKalb
goal
County
basically is
minimum is.
when you say cost savings, it's more just figure out where there might be like duplication or
Yes.
too many cleanings that maybe aren't
Yeah,
necessary in
it's-
some rooms or something like that.
Some of these, we have day porters that do cleaning, not really cleaning in the day, they do servicing. They go in the restrooms, make sure the paper products are there, paper towels and stuff. So we're kind of ending the duplication of services in some buildings,
Okay.
but we're making sure that the buildings are clean, the restrooms are clean.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. If there's nothing further, is there a motion?
I'll move to approve this item.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, we go back to
I think I'm gonna be here for a
2019,
while.
we're gonna come get you. Okay, 250811, change order number 4 to contract number 1274588, card SS installation, maintenance, and repair. Annual contract with 2 options to renew for use by the Department of Facility Management, Watershed Management, Public Works, Sanitation, and Public Service. This contract consists of the installation, maintenance, and repair of card access points. This request seeks to ratify a previously contract fund in item through December the 31st, 2025, awarded to Southeastern Security Professionals, amount not to exceed $375,000.
Yes, this is another contract that we're wanting to extend to the end of the year so we can get it bid out and get another contract put in place for the badge access.
Okay, any questions, concerns? If none, is there a motion?
Motion to approve 0811.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item is 250840. This is a renewal, all commission districts, contract number 1367915, light bulbs, fixtures, lamps, and billets. Annual contract, first renewal of 2 options to renew for use by the Department of Facility Management. This contract consists of the purchase of light bulbs, fixtures, lamps, and billets. This request seeks to ratify a previously provided contract term increase. This request also seeks to exercise the first renewal option through February the 28th, 2026. Awarded to Summit Lighting Solution, amount not to exceed $125,000.
Yes, this is another request for a renewal for our supply of lamp bulbs and ballast and materials for our lighting for our buildings. So this is a supplier.
Okay, are there any questions?
No.
Comments? Okay, is there a motion?
Motion to approve 0840.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 0856 has not come out of audit. Is that correct, Chad? Okay, so we'll be coming back
Okay.
to that. That is a renewal. 0864, that is a change order, all commission districts. You can read the numbers. On-call plumbing services, annual contract with 2 options to renew for use by the Department of Facility Management, Recreation, Parks, and Cultural Affairs, Fire Rescue, and Watershed Management. These contracts consist of the repair, replacement, maintenance, installation of plumbing fixtures at county-owned facilities. This request is to increase the contract funds and terms through July the 31st, 2026, awarded to JT Connect and B&W Mechanical Contractors. Total amount not to exceed $1,400,000.
Yeah, this is for our plumbing services we got 2 contractors doing contract plumbing work. They also do work for facilities, park and recs, fire rescue, and watershed management. So this is to provide any kind of plumbing services for the county.
Okay, any questions, concerns on this one? Okay, if not, is there a motion?
I move to approve item 0864.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item is a renewal, all commission districts. You can read the contract numbers, chiller inspections, repairs, and preventive maintenance services. First, renewal of 2 options to renew for use by the Department of Facility Management. These contracts consist of providing inspections, repair, preventative maintenance services for county chillers. This request seeks to exercise the first renewal option through July the 31st, 2026, awarded to Mann Mechanical Company and the Icon Applied Americas, amount not to exceed $600,000.
Yes, this is for our preventive maintenance and repair of our chillers and cooling towers around the county. Most of our larger buildings have chiller systems, and they have cooling towers that help do the HVAC in the buildings.
Okay.
So this is what this is to support.
Okay, are there any comments, concerns, questions? Okay, if not, is there a motion?
I move to approve item 0871.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. The next item is 250846. That item has not come back from audit, is that correct, John? Okay, we'll hear that at the next board meeting. The next item is 250854, statewide contract, all commission districts. You can read the number. Truck cab chassis and truck bodies for use by the Department of Public Works, fleets management to be used by Public Works Road Drainage. This request seeks to purchase the competitively let statewide contract number you can read for 2026 International NV 607 19 feet flatbed truck and lift gate. This truck would be used to transport material and equipment to and from various job sites in the county for traffic engineering systems. Awarded to Rush Truck Centers of Georgia, doing business as Rush Truck Center, Atlanta, amount not to exceed $138,685.
Yes, Madam Chairman, this is just a truck, a replacement for a unit over at Roads and Drainage. As it says, it's used for traffic engineering, haul everything from red lights to whatever they need. It's got a big lift gate on the back to help lift the heavy stuff. It's just a replacement.
Oh, okay. Are there any questions, comments, concerns? If not, is there a motion?
Motion to approve 0854.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. And I think that will conclude our agenda for today. Is there?
Yeah. Allison's here.
Oh, I'm sorry, Allison. Where's Allison? I'm sorry. I'm already 5 minutes into Commissioner Bowden's meeting. Can you give me 5 more meetings, 5 more minutes?
I'm happy to come back next time too. No big deal. Whatever you want.
Normally, I would say yes, but we've held
I know.
5 items for the
Okay.
past 2 months.
Okay, well, you've been kind in the past, so Ellison, if you could come back, we would appreciate it. Okay, thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.